Okay, welcome back. This is the second part of the pullback series, the pullback trading strategy series. This is what we were looking at, was the German DAX as an example. Like I said, doesn't matter which market you use. If you want to use a forex or a commodity market, whatever, or a certain stock, I'm good with that. It's up to you. So here's the thing. Something I need to point out here is that the ultimate way and time to trade this, when it comes to the German DAX, for example, it's a European stock index. So in that case, make sure volatility is at its highest at the market open. So most moves, and often counter trend moves like the pullback, we get that momentum to the short side, and then we continue in the direction we were already going. So make sure you use that momentum. Don't try to trade a certain indices. For example, don't try to trade the Nasdaq 100 in a European time. Momentum is there when the European sessions are open, so use that momentum. Same thing goes for the US and Asia, of course. Trade it when those markets are open at those times. Okay. That being said, let's get back to this idea. So I just pointed out in previous video that these are the levels I would be taking on those trades. Well, let's assume we take this trade. My take profit target would be over there. So the first trade would have been, I entered around that level. Of course, my stop should be just outside of this area over here, because that is the bottom, and of course my take profit should be around the levels of the top. So this is quite an ideal scenario, but you get the point that when you try to trade this, it's a great risk reward kind of setup, and this is actually the thing we do. When price again doesn't break resistance, we get in, we look for another pullback. If the pullback occurs, we get ourselves another trade. Again, we didn't break resistance. If the pullback occurs, we get in. So we had ourselves 3, maybe even 4 trades within this move. Now let me from a point perspective. This is from the 10.800s into the 10.950. So let's just say more safe. We are a bit off of resistance and a bit off of support. Let's say we are in a 100 point range here. The thing I often do with new traders who have like beginner accounts and they just have 10,000 euros to trade, I go into these markets and I say, let's get ourselves in the beginning 100. Let's try to get out the 100 from the market and take it home, and that's a good thing. If we fail to do that, we lose, for example, 25 euros. If we manage to do it, we get ourselves 100. So we get ourselves 300 from this move, and we are still going up. Okay, well, same thing. We had ourselves a gap. Often, you want to see if the gap is filled or whatever. In this case, it didn't happen. It's not like nothing is in between, but that's what happened. We had ourselves a strong bullish move. From a pullback trading perspective, this would be something. This is the hourly chart, so this is almost one session of trading, I think. This is something, it's kind of you have to stand aside here. There's not a real pullback going on, so stand aside, wait it out. Then finally we start to see, after this level here breaks, gets retested, we see a pullback actually occurring. And when you switch those time frames, you know that this happened. I think you didn't know that when it was going on. We didn't know that this was the top of the level from the daily. But always keep in mind, where are we at? So from time to time, zoom out, go back to the 4-hour on the daily chart. This is the supportive line of this channel. This is the resistance line of that channel. So okay, we are at that resistance. So sooner or later, some kind of correction needs to be coming in. Well, eventually that happened, and we got ourselves this move. Again, it's the same kind of thing. That's the strength of certain strategies. You really need to find something that is almost too easy. I want to make this a little bit smaller, like this. Here we go. Well, sometimes this thing is not doing what I want it to be doing. Okay, here we go. So we got ourselves a certain a certain level. This one is interesting to share there with you. The bottom is quite obvious because this is how the bottom behaves. You know, this is where it started, this is where it comes back. Again, we have ourselves. This is a little bit more, a little tougher to trade than this, because to be honest, actually I would have thought that this would be the resistance level. It never came in that level again, so you know, it's kind of hard to be setting to take profit, but for now, as what we can see, this is what it turned out to be, actually a little lower. But doesn't matter. This happened, we know that, we had ourselves some trades over here, then finally price came back, we had ourselves a trade. So get ready for a trade. What's the potential? The initial potential would have been this, let's be honest. And I'll show you in this video series how to manage those trades, because sometimes you need to, you know, it's not just you don't have the target yet. So we got into this level over here, and that's it. Okay, here we go. So we had ourselves a trade. It's a clean trade. It doesn't matter, this was a move, and then we had a pullback already. This was another move. We had another pull. You know, don't look at this like I could have had 3 trades in this one. You know, you have to sometimes, you know, take a close look on what's actually happening. Be happy with this one trade. That's the thing, you know. In hindsight, you want to get everything. Be happy. This would have been a solid trade, a obvious stop loss just below this level. No doubt about that. And a great risk reward again. So this is also another 100, for example. So in this is, don't forget that this is the hourly chart. So we are in, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 trades, and we're not there yet. Maybe we could have taken, you know, again here we had the break. So this is what we do. We get into this level over here where we see that price comes into, and we are able to take our profits. We do not trade, but we take our profits. So we traded this range. We broke out of this range. We don't trade when we break out. We first wait because the trend is still going up, so we wait for a pullback. The pullback happened, and here again we have ourselves a trade, and it looks like this. We came into the level, the stop loss just below the trend line, and then again we had ourselves, for example, a 1 to 4 move. So if this turned out to be a bad trade, okay, then we would have got out at a 25 loss, for example. So this is just within the week. Assume you have a 10,000 trading account, and this went the way it was moving. You're up 500, and 500 on a 10,000 account is a crazy amount. So let's try to be realistic here. That is really an amazing profit. And then things turned out a little bit tougher. Now we know by now that we are at the top of the range, so we know that corrections are more likely to happen. This strategy and pullback trading is always the best when price is just shifting, you know, just turning around. So sooner or later, by now, we have this trend line in place. Remember from the 4-hour chart, you know, this is the trend line within the bigger channel on the daily chart. Okay, so and that level got broken over here. So I think this was a kind of a moment where you should have noticed that, okay, on a 4-hour chart the structure is breaking, so we're not just trading to the upside. That in combination with the upside of this daily channel should make you a little bit anxious to get into the market, and this is one of those moments where you should have told yourself, let's stand aside. Okay. In the next video I will go into a little bit of how to pinpoint those entries even more, and how to call these reversals, and let's see how far I get in that part of the video. So maybe I'll do another part about the zooming in, you know, going to the 15-minute chart to really pinpoint those entries. So I'm gonna leave it here at the moment. Let's get into this kind of structure over here and how to read that, and how to of course manage risk. But I hope you get my point from this video, that a lot of times in trading it is best to stand aside for a minute before really getting into the market. Okay, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.